Hey everybody, welcome to Toy Chats. It's your boy Dre. It is 4th of July Monday. I know, but I'm not technically. This is going into the future. See, we are recording this on June 16th, and this will come up on the 4th of July. And this is somebody who I've had a desire to get on the show. We had a little crisscross because of just his schedule, but a challenge was laid out to me. Challenge accepted. I am introducing to you folks the talented Zard.
Hey everyone, nice to meet you all. Nice to meet you, Dre. Thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm not too hard to get a hold of or get on the show, so I'm glad that you chose me to come on as a guest. So,
well, you're extremely talented, and trust me, I love the theme of your stuff. Like you said, we were in the backstage area talking before we came on, folks, and one of the cool things was we talked about what his style of dunnies are. So if you don't know and you have not followed him on Instagram, you should. His theme is food.
Yes.
And it is by far some of the most creative and different type of stuff. So we're going to go back in time and we're going to start asking him the real tough question, which is, sir, Zard, what got you started in all this? What were you always creative? Let's go back. Tell me your life story.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say growing up, I've always kind of been into the arts. As a kid, I've always liked drawing, sketching. So I'm originally from Guam, so I'm a long way. I'm in San Diego right now, but I'm originally from Guam, so I pretty much spent my whole life there. But elementary, I was one of those kids that would join all these art contests, just submit designs, won a couple of it, and throughout the years, I just did all a bunch of creative stuff. I like arts and crafts. I'm one of those, and then high school, I kind of always was in my decorations committee for all these events because I'm more the artsy guy, so I like making things. And in college, I did do it. I did a business major, but I did have an arts minor, so I continued to kind of do some studies in arts. So I did a focus on watercolor painting, very more of the traditional stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And after I graduated from college, is kind of where I eventually got into customizing toys. So during that time, I was into customizing things, right? So I know I customized shoes. I tried painting sneakers, shirts, hats, stuff like that. And then I got my hands on my first toy. I think it was I did the Monies because Kid Robot sells it blank, right? So it's kind of meant for artists to customize.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So that's the perfect intro into toy design. So I did that one. I just experimented basic designs. I think my first Monies were just paint splatter on it, just kind of figure out how this thing works. And then after that, I started doing easy characters. I think I did a bunch of DC superheroes, did the Marvel superheroes, and then I think I probably a year into, maybe less than a year into doing my customs, I started doing food designs. So I did a bunch of snacks that at least I grew up eating, right? Just because hey, this is a cool platform. Kind of imagine it as a food, and I just take one of the packaging, paint it on the figures, and then try to imitate the food itself, make it look real, but on a toy. So it's kind of fake stuff. I think that was kind of my break into doing food designs. And after that, I think I did a couple more snacks, and the feedback I was getting from people, it made sense. Everyone loves food and art, so that's why it's the perfect pair.
Perfect marriage.
Yeah. Since then, I just kind of been doing a bunch of it. I started focusing on different, even more snacks or foods that I've never seen it that gets turned into a toy, and that's what I like about it is I never run out of ideas. There's always something new I haven't attempted yet. And I've probably been doing it for, I think I've been doing toy design for 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. I always number my pieces, so that's how I number. So I number on the number figure it is. So I think right now I'm on 2,000 something, so 2,300. And then these throughout the years, these are all hand painted, hand sculpted by me. I don't do I haven't done mass production yet. It's more all hand painted by me, hand sculpted. So all my pieces are out there. I've kind of touched every single one of them. It's all made by me. So that's kind of what I like about it. I like the whole time the thing, working on every piece myself. I can remember every piece I've done over the years.
That's amazing, dude. The fact that you've been able to individually number your pieces, and literally take the time to go into it to where you're hey, guess what? this individual piece that I'm hand designing for
Yeah.
you to sell or to give away or to do whatever you with it. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Like, wow. Like
No,
I
it's
couldn't
fun,
even
yeah.
think that.
Yeah, and I kind of like the practice, you know, like I've every like you know like if you see my pieces, I do a lot of like the logos of like whatever packaging, like so people think that like they're stickers, but those are actually all hand painted. So like I'm like using a tiny ass brush and I'm just kind of painting it really close and try to get it to look as close as possible. But yeah, so I wanted to make sure it's like handmade, like hand painted, because you know it's an art piece. And I want to make sure like you know when you see it's in collection, like from far it looks like it was produced in a factory, but up close you could see like like little of those like paint strokes and stuff. But yeah, and just trying to make the piece look like the real thing, like food. It's just that's always the fun part, like the challenge. Like I like that where I over the years I learned like so many techniques, experimented with so many materials to kind of like how to make like ramen, for example. It's like I break it down by ingredient, work on each piece. Like I sculpt it with clay and then assemble it for the resin, and it's kind of like you know till I get to the
It's
end.
beautiful, dude. Like I loved. Like I'm gonna shout you out. Obviously, you just went to Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland,
Yeah,
and it was your first time there. So, like you said to me in
yeah,
the backstage, it was like a great food
mhm,
excursion.
yeah.
And for me, it'll be my daughter's gonna turn 13. She still does not know this yet that we're taking her to Galaxy's Edge
Ah, love
to
it.
create a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
we're going to Disney World
Mhm,
in December.
nice.
So it's gonna be my daughter, both my daughters, my 2-year-old and my 12, about to be 13,
Yeah.
and then my wife and I, it'll be our anniversary.
Mhm. Oh,
So
that's
it's
awesome.
like so like we're going to Disney. I said we're gonna have tons of buttons on our chests because we're
Oh,
gonna just
hell
have like
yeah. Of
I'm like,
course.
yeah, just enjoy it. And
Oh, yeah.
I I have to tell everybody my favorite piece that I've recently seen you do is that blue milk.
Yeah.
I love it. It looked like you dipping a churro in his head,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh my god, that looks like blue milk. Like if I shook it, I thought it was like an
Yeah.
actual cup. So like, what about the food that you saw there really inspired you to do some pieces?
Yeah. So, like, kinda how I plan my trip. So, like Disneyland's an example. So, like, wherever I'm going, like, I kinda try to research, like, what some food. I do my research beforehand so I can kinda make pieces, bring with me there to kinda take a picture with the real food. I do this it's the same when I travel, like, to different cities. I research, like, iconic dishes from that place so I could go there and then take a picture with the real thing. Yeah, so Disneyland, like, I kind of figure, like, hey, what's kind of like what kind of food do they have there? Which one looked very interesting to do? I last year I did, I think 2 years ago or last year, I did like a series of Disney food, but I didn't go Disneyland for that. But I think I did like 15 pieces, like just a
Wow.
bunch of like kind of Disneyland. So a lot of like Mickey shaped food, like ice cream, pretzel, stuff like that. And so I mean that was like mid-pandemic, so like I knew I wasn't going, but I just wanted to do it like as a series. And so for this trip, I figured like, oh, let me kind of do a bunch of Disney pieces and bring it there to do kind of take a picture with the real stuff. And then like I know I didn't have time to do like too much, so I kind of like went there. A good thing I went with my family, so like I told right, I'm gonna buy everything. We're gonna eat it. I'm just gonna do some research, and you take pictures while I want to do some research. And then so we tried foods there that like I didn't know they had, and then like I took it back home and then all my pictures and made pieces based on those. So like the blue milk, that was like a post Disneyland trip piece. So like I customized it later on and then did the reveal. So that
That was
was
so cool.
yeah. I mean like there's a lot of food that I didn't get to do. So like I have at least some reference photos for those. So later on maybe I could do it. But Disney's always a popular theme too, you know, especially food in Disneyland.
Oh, of course. Like how
Yeah,
many YouTubers have gone there and like just said, "Hey,
right.
I'm gonna do a food tour of Disney,"
Exactly.
and they're like, "I've had," and the thing is, where you are,
Mhm.
because here we don't have Avengers Academy,
Mhm. Oh
so we
yeah,
don't have
yeah.
we don't have Pim's laboratory,
Mhm.
so like we don't have the small food
Sure.
or anything like that. So everybody's like going there and drawing this
Yeah,
inspiration, and
exactly.
I'm just like, that's so cool.
And and and,
So
and that's why like this I was able to go to the Avengers campus last this November. So this is my second time visiting her. But I remember like going there for the first time. It's like before that they didn't have it yet. It was still like Tower of Terror. They didn't have the Guardians new ride. So it's pretty cool when you go to a place for the first time and after a long, long time, it's like and you see all that stuff. That's why same when I went to Galaxy's Edge, it's like, whoa, this is kind of like going to Disneyland for the first time again, you know, even though it's just like a small section of it, but that's
oh,
always the
trust
fun
me.
part, you know. You know, everyone's a
Oh,
kid when you go to Disneyland.
dude, we're kids. It's like
Exactly.
we're parents that have kids, but we're big kids
Yeah.
ourselves. So
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna be like that when I go to Disney and go to. I already told the wife. I said, "Look, we go to Galaxy's Edge. I'm probably gonna lose my shit. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be like, you know,
yeah,
because it's Chewbacca's walking around,
it's
Ray's
crazy.
walking around. We get to go to Droid Depot. I
Mhm.
was like, you know, we're gonna go to Doc Ondar's. I'm like, there's so much stuff, and it's not even riding the rides.
Mhm.
That's
Oh yeah, yeah,
experiencing the areas before you go to
for
like Rise of the
sure.
Resistance or anything else.
And yeah, and it
So,
was like this trip, like I brought my nephew. He's like only 4, so it was his first time. Like we
oh
waited for
wow,
yeah, so I'm like, it's always fun because like I got to bring my nephew, so he's experienced for the first time. And he's just so amazed. It's like I remember when I was that age and going to Disneyland for the first time. So that was also another fun part about it, just because I was with him and he's enjoying it for the first time. It just it's nice. It's a good family place, you know.
oh it definitely
It's like
is.
you make the memories there.
So you said you when you travel to a particular place
Mhm.
that you look for like an iconic dish. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask that you've traveled um a lot, I assume. I know I've seen a lot of Asian themed stuff, and I
Mhm.
know I've seen some stuff from Japan. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with that. You've been to Japan,
Yeah.
and I absolutely it's a dream place destination for me.
Oh yeah.
Um, where else like more exotic have you traveled, if
Sure.
exotic,
Let's
and
see.
made something to
Mhm.
like honor that trip?
Yeah, so my last trip I haven't done international in a while. But I know when I did Japan, that was probably maybe 2019. I was actually on my way home to Guam. It was like a layover, so I did like a day in Japan. So at that I was like I made sure to do some like Japanese themed pieces just cuz I could take a picture of it there in Japan. That's always fun. Before that, I've only done Philippines when I went with for my sister's wedding back in 2017 or
Oh,
2016.
cool.
So we went Philippines and then like we did a couple like different cities. So I did a bunch of pieces to take a picture in different cities. So that was that time because I was already doing toys, but before that I wasn't before when I was doing like other traveling in Asia, like I wasn't doing toys yet. So like now that like I'm in the middle of like all these toy design, like I look forward to these trips when I could go back there and just do a bunch of toys and then do like on location shots of it. But at least here in the US, my last trip I did was in New Orleans. So that was probably in March. So I did like a couple of iconic New Orleans dishes that
Beignets. I saw the beignet one you did. That
so
was
like we did
dope.
like jambalaya I did and like a po' boy. So that's kind of like why I also want to I want to do more traveling too, just because I could tie into art stuff somehow. And this is
Come
more
to
like
Charlotte.
yeah.
Come to Charlotte. We got
Oh no, yeah.
we are dude, we are barbecue, sweet tea.
Yeah.
I would love to see you do a little one
Mhm.
of just like a guy holding the pulled pork sandwich, but he's sweet tea.
Yeah. Oh dude, that'd be
That would
sick.
look dope.
I did a last year I did a show with Clutter. I did a solo show with them and my theme was Taste of America. I think United Plates of America or United Taste of America. Basically, the series is I took some iconic dishes from different cities and states and kind of created the figure for each one of those. So that's kind of like, man, if I could travel and take a picture of these wherever I did. So that's kind of like my inspiration because I want to travel, but I want to do a show where like I think I did like 15 pieces, so like a bunch of like New York, I did like a Reuben sandwich. For like I think Seattle did like coffee. San Diego, I did carne asada fries just because it's popular here. So stuff like that. I mean, it'd be cool to travel and actually take the on location shots of my pieces there because yeah, that's
Oh, dude. Come to Charlotte, dude. Come to
yeah. Oh,
Charlotte.
for sure.
I will take you around.
Hell
We will
yeah.
eat and then you can make some cool stuff.
There you go. I need to do my research. So that's what is it? It's all
Dude,
about
you
like just
got to.
research. You need to have everything.
Exactly. So if you were to do something now, like what
Mhm.
like obviously you like to eat.
I'm
So
sure.
I'm gonna assume like have you ever done anything like kind of like the fast food chains?
Oh yeah. Fast food chains are like I do a lot of that in probably like over the yeah, I think I've done tons of them. I've done almost every fast food chain. Like I've done like one of the pieces. So I've done a lot of McDonald's, Taco Bell, stuff I like to eat. I would say I would do a piece of it just because why not? Like it's there are fans out there who are willing to collect it. So that's why I just kind of like keep rolling out like new fast food pieces.
Mexican pizza. My wife would want to buy it.
Oh yeah, speaking of that just came back. I'm actually
Yep.
working on a Mexican pizza as a commission right now.
Oh, we
Yeah.
might have to
Yeah, but
talk.
like my Taco Bell freaking like they ran out of Mexican pizza for some reason.
Oh,
Is it in your location? Is it
in
like that for you
Charlotte?
too?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll make you laugh. Um, about a week or so ago, my wife was like, I want a Mexican pizza. Could
Yeah.
you get it for me? I said, okay, I got you. our Taco Bell, because of the shortages of
Yeah.
work and stuff, there was I go like wait in line, and the guy's like, "Hey, there's nobody through the drive-through window. Come inside." I come inside. There's like 15 people. I'm
Oh my
like,
God.
"All right, yeah, I'm gonna be here for a minute." I order the food. I get up to the thing. The guy's like, "Dude, we ran out of Mexican pizza." I'm like, "Are you freaking
Oh, man.
kidding me?" So I leave and I buy her a salad at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Come home and she's like, why'd you get Lana, our older daughter? Why'd you get
Yeah.
her Taco Bell? I'm like, because they had a bean burrito. That's what she wanted.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I eat tacos, and I'm like, shit. So I made it up to her that Friday. I went and they had the Mexican pizza.
They had
fresh,
it.
and I
I
got
was
it.
just
Yeah.
there like I think last weekend, thinking they have it, and then like I went in. I was like, they had a sign in the front that says "out of Mexican pizza." I was like, what?
Yeah. How are you out of the most popular
I
thing?
know, and that's why like I get it because it came back and it was hyped up a lot. But I mean, the ingredients. I feel like don't they have all the ingredients for this? It feels like
It's
it's
like
not anything specific.
cheese, meat,
Yeah,
refried beans,
and those two
and like
like
a hard taco,
yeah. I was
and you
like,
sandwich it.
exactly. That's like I feel like you have all the ingredients. Like, why don't how come you can't make it? But I don't know.
Exactly. They hurt my feelings and they hurt my wife.
Yeah,
When
but
was like,
I haven't had it since. I know it came out like last month, but it's like I just like waited. Like I wasn't gonna think it's gonna run out. That's why like I just waited this long because I knew I wanted to make a piece for it, and then someone hit me up saying like, oh, I want to kind of commission you to do a Mexican pizza. And perfect. I was gonna do it anyway. So like that's why when I went to talk about like shit, they don't have it. Hopefully when I do finish it and I want to do my usual videos, hopefully they have it by then so I can kind of do a video of it.
oh, I would love to see you
Like,
do the
great.
mashup of it. That'll be awesome.
Yeah. So that's why I always need to make sure I have like the real food or the snack when I kind of do my reveals now. Just because I started getting into like all these videos. So yeah, hopefully they do. Even next
Have you ever been approached by any of these companies like Taco Bell or like I guess that's Yum Foods or like the McDonald's Corporation? Have they ever like approached you to say like, "Hey, we love your piece. We'd like to buy it to put in our corporate office"? Have they ever like done that for you?
I mean, not like that, but I have been able to kind of like, ever since I started all these doing like these pieces inspired by these brands, I have been getting some like messages from some of them or they repost it. So like it's pretty cool. So like I like for me, I see myself, I'm an artist at first. So like my account is it's mainly art. That's my thing, art and food. And then so I know like a lot of people out there, they're like content creators. And so these guys that get sponsored by all these brands do like some videos or like post stuff about like whatever to promote. So like I think when I started doing this, where I would kind of make pieces inspired by these foods from these brands, once in a while like I get a repost from them, so they share my pieces on their like account. So it kind of helped me like get a bigger reach, just because it reaches their their audience. And so that's kind of like I just like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let me kind of just keep doing this. Who knows what will come my way? So since I've been doing that, like once in a while, I get like hit up by these brands, and they'd say like, "Oh, we love your content. We'd love to send you like a care package." So like I've gotten stuff from like Dunkers. I just got something like I posted like the other day from Carl's Jr. They gave me some free stuff to kind of help promote their like new burger with Carl's Jr. and Jurassic Park movie. I got like and some snack places they would send me some snacks too, just because they like what I did. It's like, oh shit, I gotta be doing this, and I like free food. I'm like, I can't say no to that. Why not? And it's kind of like it's fan art, from their stuff, man.
But that's also good for you because it's like, hey, somebody appreciates your art besides the community. It's showing that these companies are like, hey, this dude's putting out some really good stuff.
And like I told them like, yeah, these are like handmade pieces, so like I love your stuff so much. I'm willing to put the time and make something cool inspired by your food. So
that is awesome. So I have a weird question. Do you do like odd mashups in the sense of like, say if I like Dungeons and Dragons. I love Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't drink alcohol. I stopped drinking soda, but I would love to. I drink coffee. Would you ever be able to do like a weird mashup of like a D&D dice? Like if I showed you this, like a polyhedral, and then like make them a cup of coffee. Could you do stuff like that?
Oh hell yeah, yeah. When I do commissions, like, I'm always happy. I love the first of all, I like these challenges, like, and when I do commissions, it's like, yeah, I want to make sure whoever the collector is, I want it to be something they want. That's why like I'm always when I do commissions, I'm always open to like anyone. Like you have a favorite food that I haven't done, I'll make one, you know, because I want to make sure it's something you like, you know, just because you have a better like, you know, appreciation for it. So like you said, like if you like Dungeons and Dragons and coffee, like I could do it definitely more than happy to kind of figure out a cool design that matches those two together.
Oh, we're gonna talk.
I've got requests before, like when I do customs, it's like if they're giving it to someone, like this person likes this and this, can you kind of like mash it up together, and then they're gonna give it to them. So yeah, I do that all the time. You know, I'm more than happy to kind of do something very specific or customized that way. So
See, I like that you live up to the challenge. I think
yeah,
that shows that you are one, that you love to be diversified in your art, and that you're not locking yourself into a specific like parameter or paradigm.
Sure, yeah.
Like you're actually like going out there and saying like, hey, whatever you guys want to show me, and I'll do it to the best of my ability because I want you to have it.
Yeah,
and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and you know, for me, it's like it's a collector. Like, first of all, I'm really honored that they considered like commissioning me to make something for them. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm willing to like. Like for me, I always look at the client first. It's like I want something that you want, that you would like, we want in your collection. That's kind of like my thing, and I'll make it however they want it, and still add my style to it. So, and especially, I mean, as much as possible, I would love to incorporate some kind of food since that's like my thing. So I always try to like push for that too, like food and whatever you like. I will do it.
Have you ever done anything a part of your heritage? Because I've been, as a person of color myself, I love seeing artists do stuff that is tied to their culture.
Yeah.
Have you done anything like that? Especially living in San Diego, obviously, you, like you said, Hispanic culture is huge there. Asian culture, very huge there. Have you ever done anything or been requested pieces in your area to do something that inspire you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually, that's one of the main things I like being an artist, especially in toys. Like I know, so I'm full Filipino, but like I mentioned, I'm from Guam, so I spent my whole life there, and then I moved out to California like maybe 9 years ago now. But you know, my roots are in Guam, and you know my Filipino culture. So the cool thing about the thing I like about being a toy artist, like you said, it's like, and doing food specifically, it's like I get to kind of like do pieces inspired by my culture, like Filipino stuff, right? Filipino food, especially lots of good dishes, iconic dishes. And so for my thing, like turn them into a toy, because I haven't really seen any other Filipino artists who are even a toy community not do it. There's a couple of Filipino artists out there, but like maybe doing the food, there's not much or any that I know of. And so like for me to be able to kind of do that and then represent, you know, Filipino culture and food, that's always fun. And you know, there's so many food out there that I could kind of get inspired. I've done a ton of Filipino food. I've done a ton of like food from Guam as well. And then like, you know, there's the collectors out there who are like, oh man, I've never seen anything. Or I'm glad that someone's representing our culture in toys, especially the food stuff that we grew up eating. But yeah, like I've done like a ton of those. And you know, if people from other cultures too, they want a piece inspired by their favorite dish from their culture. Like I do it all the time. So like, you know, different tons of cuisines.
That's dope. I love hearing this because I feel like there is something that's to be said that having a piece, like you just made me think. I was like, man, that D&D piece, I would love to put a Puerto Rican flag on it because I'm Puerto Rican.
Oh, for sure.
And I would love to see you do more pieces. Like I was like, man, imagine seeing like an arepa, like you know. And
man, speaking of arepa, I'm actually working on one right now.
Ooh.
I love specifically you mentioned that, but I remember I told you about my show with Clutter where I did around the inspired by dishes. Puerto Rico was one of them actually. I don't know if you did. I'm not sure if you saw that piece, but I did a piece based on I forget what the name. It's a dish that has like a bunch of fried food in it, and then there's like
chicharrones.
Probably because there's like different kind of food that's
we do like fried everything, which is bad because they wonder why we're 400 pounds when we're kids. And then when we're adults, we're fighting heart disease.
Yes, I made a piece on that one, and I did a Puerto Rican flag on the body too.
Oh, that's
dope. So I made sure to include Puerto Rico and Guam because we're technically territories of the U.S. So like we're U.S. That's why I made sure to include us in that one.
We got to, man.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Like I love, again, like I know that everybody has their things, but I would love to see you do, and it might be something cool to do like you did for a show. Because I'm gonna ask about that. Like, I want to like before I even continue this thought. Congratulations are in order because I did see your name on the Creatives season 2, the series 2 cards. Am I mistaken?
Ooh, no, I don't think I signed
Did
up
you
for
put an
the.
application in?
No, I didn't put an application in for this one.
Oh, you should have talked to Red Guardian because they just I a bunch of my friends, the other 2 gentlemen I do the show
Yeah,
with, they put their names, artists put their names out
yeah,
there, and Red Guardian gets like had applications from all over the world.
yeah. I remember
And
seeing the announcement for that though, but I was thinking about it, but I didn't get the chance to. Cause like,
oh,
yeah, so I'm like, but I've been like a lot of like the other artists I saw they were like sharing. I was like, shit, man, I should kind of get on this because I know it's a series 2 already. Hopefully they do series 3. I'm ready to kind of like turn around.
hey, dude,
Yeah.
I spoke to Red Guardian, and again, Red Guardian, I have a kind of a funny history with you because all his things are clowns, and I hate clowns. So it was like having him on the show was so funny because
Yeah.
he was like, Dre, just say it. You hate clowns. And I was like, yeah, but you did some pieces that are straight fire, dude. Like I can respect a lot of the stuff you do. And I was like, man, I remember when I got you on here and I talked to Alex. I was like, this guy's got to be in the next run of these stuff because I'm like, Zard is so good and playful. Alex is Alex. He's such a great guy.
Oh, for sure.
And he's like, Dre, he'll probably be there. But dude, are you gonna? And now I'm gonna segue out of that into: are there any shows besides maybe Decon coming up that you're gonna try to like go to, like 5 Points or anything like that?
When you mentioned that, so I was supposed to sign up. I signed up for 5 Points. I did 5 Points for the first time in 2019, and then I signed up to do 2020. But pandemic pushed everything back, so my booth rolled over to this year. But then they originally had the date for the beginning of the month, and then they had to change it last minute to next weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I had another event here in San Diego that fell on the same date, fell on the same time as a new date. So I couldn't do it anymore. So mine rolled over to next year again. So I'll be doing it 5 Points for sure next year. And then, yeah, I love, like 5 Points was great. I did, when I did it first time, it's like, I don't know why I didn't do the first one before that, just because like I do decon in California, so why not do the East Coast? And that's kind of like decon of the East Coast. That's why like I want to make sure I always do that every year. It's just like this year, just kind of like the schedule, there's like a conflict, but
yeah, I know Red was telling us about it on the show when he was on that there was it's like he wants it to happen, but there were so many other cases that were coming up. So
yeah, I mean, like I know like the reason why they changed it was just unfortunate just because of the venue. But then like, yeah, I tried, but like I couldn't kind of get out of the one I committed to here in San Diego for my other event. That's why I had no choice but to kind of like move it over again for next year. But I mean, Cloters, the one hosting, they were great to work with. Like I love those guys. So I would always
dope.
like, yeah.
Would you I know that Red is talking about doing a creator con, like a creative con, like with the creatives. Would that be something you'd also put into as well?
Yeah, oh for sure. I'm definitely always looking for new conventions to do outside of like decon or 5 Points, just because it kind of like gives me like projects in between. Like decon, the good thing about decon and 5 Points are kind of evenly spaced out in the year. So like one's mid-year and one's towards the end. So like in between that, I'm always trying to look for like smaller events to kind of do. So at least locally here in San Diego, I do like some pop-up markets, and then I have all these shows in between. So those kind of keep me busy. But then like I always love doing conventions just because it's fun to kind of like interact with people. That's always like, as much as like I'm always behind the scenes, like I'm just working at home all the time making pieces. It's always great be talking to other artists, or people meeting all the collectors who collect my piece over the years. So I always like enjoy going to all of these as much as possible. So yeah, I mean, like I'll look into. You said it's creator con.
He's looking. It's called the Creatives. He's I know that Red is. We jokingly told him that we want press passes, and he's like, Dre, we'll make it happen for you guys.
Nice.
Because we all here at the Nerd Dungeon absolutely love what the Creatives do. We've had several of like artists that I've never been exposed to, and that over the last 6 months I have now understood and been accepted into, like, I want to call it the conclave of artists. And it's such an amazing thing you guys are doing. Like, it's to go from, and I'm going to just use this because it's at my desk, to go from what I collect, to go from this to what you do and just like poof, to basically be like, I created my own. is absolutely fantastic. And I think that if you can get the opportunities to go to conventions or whatever,
Yeah.
you should. And are you looking at like other types of conventions? Like, I don't know, do you like look at comic book conventions or like places like, I know
Mhm.
Frank and Sons is in your neck of the woods.
Mhm.
Have you ever thought of doing something with them?
Yeah, definitely want to at least like the different comic cons in different cities. Those are kind of like something I would totally consider. Because they also have like artist alleys there, so those are kind of like the perfect spots, kind of like for us like small artists. I know it's kind of like a little different because most of them are like illustrators or like digital artists, stuff like that. And like me, like so I personally don't do any digital art or 2D. I'm really just sculpting and toys. So like I'm hoping like at least my stuff fits in those. And I know they have like from what I've seen, like they have a few like 3D artists who do have tables in those. But I mean, like I'm always trying to say like I kind of bring in something a little different, so it's kind of like a good mix for them, if that's like my selling point. But yeah, I'm trying to like look at least the closer cities near me in the West Coast, and then eventually kind of expand out. But yeah, I always want to do like conventions that are very specific to like an audience. Like those will be fun because it gives me something cool. At least I know what kind of pieces to make, and that will cater to those. Like I remember
Oh,
one time,
Celebration you need to go to.
yeah, which is that
It's
one?
Star Wars Celebration,
Star Wars?
dude.
Oh,
It was just
yeah,
in Anaheim.
yeah.
Imagine you doing what you did with that and
Mhm.
giving and selling those pieces with the Albrish, the language that they were using in the
Yeah, oh for sure.
dude. I'm telling you, you'd make money.
Yeah, see, so exactly stuff like that. Like at least I know it's all for Star Wars fans. So I was gonna make a bunch of Star Wars things, and Star Wars food, things from the Disneyland. That's kind of Star Wars theme. That I could just kind of like do that, and just hopefully,
Oh,
people will
hopefully,
like
dude,
that.
you would have, dude, you do that. I will fly out there. You put me to work for you. I will work for you, bro. I will help you sell
Nice,
because I love
man.
that stuff. I love going to cons. I mean, obviously, with the pandemic, we haven't had those opportunities, and just like time wise now, it's like we were looking at going to Heroes, but it's the same weekend as my daughter's second birthday. And then it's like Raleigh Super, we might go to. It's a money thing, and then it's like I just know that it's like conventions are just. I know when I was younger,
Yeah,
shit, I would go to a convention wherever I would travel.
yeah. Oh, for
But
sure.
once I had kids and settled down, it's like, well, I'll get to watch it online. But it's definitely, I think there's a niche market, and I don't want to say niche because if you look at like Neocat and like some of the memes and other things that people have done, you have such a fit in what you're doing. Like you could do food and toys
Yeah,
so well at a con, like Ramune,
yeah.
Haichu,
Yo, yeah. Like
ramen,
I've done like
gyoza. They would go nuts for that, dude.
I've done like because like another cool thing about like because I do food, I try to also hit up as a vendor at food markets. That's kind of big, especially here in California. Like they have night markets where it's like people go there for all the trending food. And like so I did it a couple of times, like here in San Diego, they had small ones. And like I do toys, but I also started doing like miniature food, like magnets or something. So I like one of the popular ones had done like a boba, like a tiny boba magnet. Yeah,
Oh,
I did that like and I did my first night market and did a bunch of all these like miniature food. People loved it. It's like because like these guys are not toy collectors. I knew that. So I didn't do like I had like my toys, like my dunnies and monies, but like I knew it's this is not the crowd for all those people because they're priced a little higher. So it's something new I did, like I kind of like put on my marketing hat and it's like, let me make also do food, but cute food, and the boba is very popular. And like it's a lower price point and like magnets, like I did magnets because back in the days, it's like I remember our parents would collect all these like cool looking magnets, right? So like it's kind of nostalgic too. And so that's kind of my thing. So it's nostalgic, it's cute, and it's like food people like. And then, yeah, I sold out a lot of my pieces, and like it kind of like I got a new market. All these people who are not exactly toy collectors, but they appreciate like handmade things. So like night
it's
market,
out there. Trust me, I like that.
So I do
Go ahead.
if I could do night markets where there's just people who love food, my kind of people, I'll try to vend there too, and then just make a bunch of like food pieces to sell.
Oh, dude, I can see it. I mean, it's so wildly popular. Like there's Food Truck Fridays here in Charlotte. when I lived in Virginia, they didn't have like Richmond is huge for that.
Mhm.
When I lived in Richmond, that's like a huge like hippie city. Like they
Yeah.
used to do all weird things like that. So like you couldn't spit in the wind on a Friday or Saturday. There was a weekend that like there would be like, you go down Broad Street in Virginia, and that's like boom, like you'd see vendors like selling
Yeah.
their stuff, and I was
There
like,
you go.
that's cool. And they used to have First Friday, like the first Friday of every month. All like local shops would come out, and like they like creative people would sell their stuff. It was always a fun thing to see.
Yeah.
And those are like I could see that those are great venues for you
Mhm.
to open up, not just to toy collectors, but like you said, to expose people to
Yeah.
what
Oh yeah,
you do.
exactly. And like that's why like it helps that I've been doing like food themed toys over the years, just because like I kind of like drawing like toy collectors for the toys part of it, and then foodies at the same time. So that's why like my audience is kind of a good mix of both. So I'm able to kind of like grasp both sides, and that's why like it helped me at least as an artist, because like it builds my personal brand. Like so I would say like, yeah, I'm an artist, but I'm a foodie too. And then now that I'm doing all these videos, like I try to work with brands. So like I try to do food. I'm like a content creator, just kind of like do all these different parts, and it's fun. Like I like the hustle of doing all these together, and it's like doing the videos like over the last maybe like 2 years. So I was able to get on TikTok and then do the reels on Instagram. It kind of allowed me to do another creative part of my art. Just not only once I finished a piece, before I was just like, here's the final piece, and just post it, right? And then when I kind of understood, like, okay, I think videos are the new thing now. So let me kind of do something more, some additional creativity. So like, that's why I try doing all these videos now, just because like it's another part I get excited about now. Like, how am I gonna creatively reveal this new piece I just finished? And yeah, people love it, so I get excited again, and yeah, something new. So
It's definitely something cool to see that you're doing, and it's definitely awesome to just like see the evolution. Like it, like my daughter's she's like a great artist. I give it to her. Like everybody I brought on the show, I've shown her stuff, and they're like, why is it she's not doing this? Like, get her to do this. Like, have her try to do this. I said, yeah, well, she's also 13, getting to be 13. I'm like, I don't want her to get bombarded with too
sure.
much,
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of her having that desire to want to like get into what you guys are doing and design stuff. And she has an interest. And like I said, all of you guys, I introduced her to the artists. Like, I have her like look at all the Instagram, all the videos that you guys do, and it's like she loves it. She's like, her thing is like, okay, I think if you cut my daughter, she would bleed ramen. Bleed ramen.
That's
This
that's
it's
my thing
hilarious.
too. Ramen, man. I'm big on ramen.
And I was like, man, and she would laugh. I showed her the like the money you did of ramen, and she's like, that looks so cool. I was like, yeah, that's your spirit animal right there,
Yeah. Awesome.
And she starts like doodling a little bit about it, and I'm like, that's right there. Like having you influence a new generation, like that's such a cool feeling.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, I always like that. Like, I've been able to, like, since I've been doing toys, like, I've done a couple classroom visits where teachers would bring me in to kind of like talk about like toy design, toy customization to their students, and most of the time they're like elementary, some are like high school, but it's kind of cool to be able to kind of share it, because it's not a very well known media artists do. So like for them, it's like the first time like seeing it, or like they've seen it before, but they're not like, they haven't like done runs through, like they're so used to seeing like just digital artists or 2D artists, right? So it's always fun kind of introducing like toy design into people who haven't really are not too familiar with it. Because yeah, it's fun. It's like if you like sculpting, if you like doing all these things, it's like kind of like a thing to do. Like I try to encourage some of my friends back in Guam to kind of like get into toy design too, because when I was there, I was like the only one, and I think I'm still like, they don't have any other toy artists on Guam, so still like I tell them like there's a lot of artists, they're really good, but I'm telling you guys should get into toy design. It's kind of like it's a really fun medium to work with, like I would say.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is, especially with you. Like you found your niche,
yeah,
and it's done so well. Like I love seeing it. It's just I'm like winner. Like when are we like what like I've already am excited to see these new pieces that you're coming out with. Like already an arepa, You have
Mhm.
Mexican pizza.
Yeah.
I'm assuming what other stuff like is on the horizon for you,
Mhm.
Zard?
So I mean, like the cool thing, it's like I always like I aside from my commissions, I'm always looking on the lookout for like food that I've never done before. So like the way I kind of view my world now, or at least it's like I look at food, I'm like, how can I turn that into a toy? That's kind of like what I see like everything now. Whether it's like eating just like a typical meal, I'm out in a restaurant, or like I see a fast food, they have a new product or something like that'd be cool to turn into a food. That's why I keep an eye out for that, like with brands too. Like, I don't know, like this is something I'm trying to work on. Have you heard of Mountain Dew? They did like a flaming hot soda.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm trying to. This is kind of what I'm trying to do next. Like, this is one a sneak peek, but stuff like this is like kind of like unique, weird stuff. Like, I like that, and I say like, oh, it'd be cool to turn into a toy. So that's kind of like how I view things now. So that's why I say like I never run out of ideas, just because either there's food out there I've never done before, or there's always new things coming out. So
Oh
yeah.
God, the level of inspiration you're gonna have, you're set for your life, dude. Like
Yeah,
you could
that's why, like,
literally
as
be
I said,
like,
like, I go
go to
places,
the
I go to eat.
supermarket.
I'm just doing research and thinking, like, hey, how am I going to turn that into a toy next? So,
That is so cool. Dude. I have to admit, like, I think it's so cool what you're doing, and the
thank you.
fact that I, like, I see it in my head, like the imagination and the drive. Like, have you ever felt like there were times that you wanted to stop, or like, I guess like on the flip side of it, like, because I know there's always a positive, but is there ever
Yeah,
like
oh yeah, for
like a
sure.
time where you were just like, man, I'm done. I'm can't do it no more. Has
I
there ever
mean,
been that?
sometimes, like, it's not like probably like that. I'm like tired of it. It's more like I have my moments where I have a burnout. So like, I'm like have like tons of projects, and I'm like work because I still have a day job too. So like most of the time, my art stuff comes like after work at night or in the weekends. So sometimes when I have like back to back projects, I'm just like so swamped. I'm so tired, and then I have a burnout. Those times is like I feel like shit. Like, man, I gotta take care of myself also. And I'm like, sometimes like I'm not in the mood, I'm not motivated. So I do get those, but I know like eventually I'll pick myself up, like I'll get back to it. That's why I always want to make sure I include like personal projects I want to do. That's why like I have a list of like, okay, I want to work on all these spaces. It's just because I want to. Aside from like art shows I'm doing, or like conventions, or like commissions, I want to make sure I include some personal pieces I want, just because it keeps me motivated in between. So I don't like I just dread the day where I just completely lose interest. Thank goodness I haven't hit that. Like I hope I don't ever, because like I love what I've been doing, and like I would look back like it's been like 10 years already. So I'm glad I'm still doing it, and it's only gotten better like year after year. So
See, I like that. I like hearing that there's the desire, that fire.
mhm,
Because I've recently myself, like, I've been a stay-at-home dad because
mhm,
I've been because of the pandemic and then my
mhm,
health issues, and I was like, my wife was like, I'm gonna go back to the classroom, stay in the classroom
mhm,
teaching. I was a teacher for 15 years,
mhm.
so I've always been creative, but I've always stifled it because I'm not like an artist. Like,
Mhm.
I'm a person that can tell the good story, but I can't draw the
Yeah,
characters. I
sure.
can tell you what the character looks like, but can't draw it.
Mhm,
And recently, I've had a couple of artists like Surge and Destroy.
mhm,
He and I are actually collaborating to do two characters. Actually, I think it's four characters we're starting with, and that'll be out like later this year.
mhm.
I talked to Evil Ghosty. He, myself, and Surge are going to try to do a collaboration as well.
Yeah,
And then
awesome.
I'm working with a comic book artist on a story. So it's like I've tried to open myself up to be more creative in
Mhm.
other different avenues.
Yeah.
So I would love an opportunity to collaborate with you one of these days.
Oh
When we
yeah, hell
find
yeah,
we find some food that we are just gonna be
yeah.
you and me, and we come up with it, we eat it, we go on a live, we could we
There
could
you
we could
go.
do it on this
Hey,
channel, and
I'm
we're
all
gonna be
about
like, cool.
collabs, man. I'm all about that. If it's food involved, easy. I'm more than happy to. So come up with something. We'll definitely work out something later on, man.
Oh,
That
I
sounds
love it.
exciting.
Yeah, we because I literally have had the bug in me to leave a legacy, and
Yeah.
I see you're doing that now for yourself and your
Mhm,
family, and for me, this sounds like something that food ties, and you understand this because is for our cultures,
mhm.
food ties to our culture
Oh
because
hell yeah,
it's family.
absolutely.
It's that time of bonding.
Yeah.
Like the Italians always have this belief of breaking bread. You know, you break bread with somebody because it's respect. It's I'm inviting you to my table.
Exactly.
And I would love to see more of that collaboration. And like I said, the ideas when you just were talking about what you've been into, some of the ideas started flowing. I'm like, oh man, we're definitely gonna collab and have
there
some
you
fun.
go. Yeah. Hey, I'm happy to kind of like inspire a little too. So yeah, let's make it happen. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely. So like I said, we will figure something out.
Yeah.
And it might be don't expect it this year, folks. He's got a lot of stuff on his plate. I got a lot of stuff on my plate, but definitely expect it maybe early next year. Next year, we may have it. Hey, 5 points comes.
There you go. Around. Exactly. Got a year from now to work on something for next 5 points. So
you never know. Zard and Dre. You have a Zard X Dre collab right there, folks.
I feel it'd be cool. Like I could collab like different people. Like you know, like you're one of them, and like different people as well. Like in different creators. Like food collab. You know, I mean like a cool series I do on my own. So and like it's kind of like partnering with other people. That'd be a cool way to kind of do more collabs for me because I definitely want to do more collabs with people, like whether like artists or like yourself, like you podcast stuff like that. It's like I want to do more of that, just because I feel like building a network, whether you're in whatever community. Like I look at the creative community as a whole. So like a lot of my friends are musicians, some are artists, you know, some are dancers, stuff like that. Like I feel like creatives should kind of work together at some capacity. Like you shouldn't just stick with your, you know, like for me, like I won't just stick with toy artists. I kind of like branch out because I like talking with creators because, you know, we all kind of think similarly. We're crazy. And that's what I like about it. We're like kind of like our mind never stops running, you know, it just goes crazy.
I wish it did go.
Like, you know, when we talk about something we're passionate about, like for me, like I said, I'm a very shy guy, but then like, when I'm able to talk about art, something I like that I'm passionate about, like I could keep going. It's weird. It's just like it instantly like makes me like easier, you know, more open, and like it's easier for me to talk to people that way.
It's your passion. It's your love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And food's like that though. Think about that. Food is to some like I never knew how to cook. I used to be a chef, and I never knew how to cook when I was younger. My mom, I was 18, and my mom said, "You're gonna learn to make 3 things that you like to eat." I learned those 3 dishes, and then I actually got to become a sous chef at a restaurant.
Oh, nice!
And it was fun. I liked it. Cannot do that now. At 40, I was 44 years old. I'm like, no, thanks. I'm good. You know, I'll cook at home for my family and my friends. But I agree with you. It is something that is universal language to everyone.
Yeah.
We all, it doesn't matter if you're a dancer, a musician, an artist, a podcaster, a YouTuber. We all could say we love tacos.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone has some kind of favorite food, you know?
Exactly.
Whether it's like a simple one or like a very intricate dish, like everyone has something they kind of their go-to for food.
Exactly. And that's what unites it. I love the way you said that. It's like this is what unites the creatives. Like our minds don't ever stop. Like ever since I've started talking to you guys more and really hitting and like it's like I struck a vein in my brain. And it's like, oh my God, like I don't stop. Like when does it stop? Yeah. So, but it works though, because it's like I like talking to other creatives and pulling their interest and seeing what we can do and creating something that's now a legacy that somebody will put in their house or, you know, on a t-shirt, in a hat, or like even on the internet. And it does wonders so people are like, wow, I did not know about that. Now I want to know more. Yeah. And then they open up themselves to learn. And I think that's what we need to do as creatives. We have to create that doorway for someone to be comfortable to walk through, to be like, I'm going to do this.
Exactly.
And you've done that, dude. I can see it. I see it. I'm already, like I said, you got my mind going, and I'm looking forward to seeing that Mexican pizza. I know my wife's gonna laugh because I know she's probably like, what's he talking about? Mexican
yeah, I mean, it's a cool. I mean, like for me, it's like whatever it's coming out. Like, man, I gotta hop on this Mexican pizza just because it's like everyone's talking about it, so I gotta do it. And I like Mexican pizzas. Like it's something I like to do anyway. I like to eat anyway. So
exactly, like you said, that's one of the things you like to eat. So why not? And as if you try it, I think it's even cool that you try it to like get the idea, and then like you're like, you know what it is.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a second, I'm gonna turn this to a toy, and people have to be like, what? But then they see the final thing, and they're like, oh shit, this looks great.
That's why I like doing my reveals where like I compare like the snack or food I'm getting inspired that inspires the piece. So you know, I show the real one, and then I show my reveal of the toy, so I'll kind of like see where the reference was, just so they, you know, they could see like, hey, it's based off something real. And like you said, like I need to do research too. So like if I was gonna do Mexican pizza, I was gonna get a Mexican pizza. So I have my reference, take pictures of it, then make the piece and buy another Mexican pizza so I could kind of do my videos. So I gotta do my own research too. Like I eat a lot of ramen just because I do a lot of ramen pieces. Stuff like that.
So see, folks, this is what fun things about talking with collaborators and just seeing how creatives' minds work. A lot of the times, like he said, it doesn't shut off. Mm-hmm. And you already saw that he has like several pieces he's working on. He's setting himself up for things. I want to thank you for the time coming on the show. This has been so awesome. I've been looking so forward to this. To get you on and to get to meet with you. And like Alex was right, you are super chill and super cool. I was like,
good time, man. You're gonna love it, man. Yeah,
that's my dude, bro. That's my brother from another, man. He's awesome.
For sure. I was like, you speak Alex, you're a great guy then, because I know Alex. So like Alex circle of friends, like you guys are fun people. So I mean, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you kind of like inviting me on, man.
Oh no, dude, you're
like happy to kind of do these. I think you need to get more of these podcasts. It helps me personally be a little more comfortable.
There's several. Listen, I can tell you right now, there are several people that are like channels like mine that are looking to get people like you to come on and just like talk to you.
Yeah,
I could put them. I could introduce you guys and see if you guys want to, because I know that helps. And they sometimes you can tell them, be like, hey, Dre made me feel comfortable, but like I need to, like if we're going live, let me know, because if the bright lights are on, I might freeze. But don't listen, dude. You're so easygoing, and I'm gonna tell you now, with literally us not having anybody, this is being you and me in a conversation. You've done an amazing job. You're gonna kill. You're gonna kill.
Appreciate that. I mean, believe it or not, like speaking of like being on like on video, so I actually did. I don't know if you have HBO Max. Just gonna do a little shout out.
I do.
So I was on one of the shows. It premiered last year. So,
what show?
It's called Craftopia. It's a design show. So
I'm gonna have to watch this.
Yes. So like whoever's watching this, like I don't like to. I as much as I would like to promote, like I don't like to, because like it was a film like maybe 2020. So it's kind of like I couldn't say anything for like a whole year, but it aired in November 2021 last year. So it was Craftopia. It's on HBO Max. Season 2. I think I was episode 7. So check that out. You'll see me there. Like it's not I wasn't doing toys, but then like I came in as a crafter. So like it's competitive crafting, I would say. And it was a holiday episode, so you kind of see what the challenge was. And so that was like my first debut being on TV. So that was like nerve-wracking for me. So that was like my first experience being TV, and it's like, wow, it had to be like on that kind of like like an actual like TV show. But these that one at least is pre-recorded, so like they did the editing and cuts. But like I would still get nervous like when I do like all these shows, just because like that's just me personally. I'm just a very like introverted guy. So.
And guess what? You've proven to me that you are an extrovert, sir, because I'm an extrovert, and I always my wife is an introvert, and they always say, like, my best friend, my sister, I love her to death. She said, extroverts make introvert friends because they find them. And I collect introverts. I have like 4 introvert, very good people in my life, and then one's with my wife, and then my best friend Eric and I, the one that he's like a huge fan of yours, and his wife, that's Filipina. They're like, Anna is like an introvert, and Eric's like a huge extrovert, just like me.
They balance each other out.
They balance each other perfectly. So it's like, trust me, dude, you killed it. Like, I love it.
Appreciate it.
We are gonna have you. I know. I would love to tell you this. We're gonna bring you back on in 2023.
Oh yeah, do it.
And I want to see you on, because I want to see where you have gone, and I want to discuss like, hey, maybe our collaboration is going to be what we talk
for
about.
sure.
So you never know.
Lots of good happen within the year, man. I mean, like some projects might come my way, some opportunities that are big. So I'm hoping. I always hope for that. It's like for me, like it's just like I just gotta keep hustling, do what I'm doing, and then like you never know when an opportunity comes my way, and then that's why I just keep doing it. Like you just never know. That's all. Like I said, like appearing on a TV show that came out of nowhere, and that's just because someone saw my art. So like that's just. My goal, just keep myself busy, do a bunch of art pieces, collab with brands, stuff like that. And I just wish like my big break will come even more. So
Oh, it's gonna come, bro. You guys gotta believe it. Put it out there, like the secret says.
Mhm.
You put it out there, it will come back to you. And
Yeah.
it's already starting to. It's already starting to.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, bro. No problem. So, listen, folks. I want to say thank you guys for watching. Excuse me. Thank you guys for watching. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're drinking, blowing up fireworks, just don't lose a
Yes.
hand. Just relax. Like I said, this is a time traveled episode, so we are going to go back to June, and I'm going to say thank you again for watching. Watch your head on the way out of the dungeon, and as always, my friends, stay geeky, y'all. Peace out.
See you guys.
And now we wait for it to